Hello there, Croeso and welcome. I'm Shadow Lummox and I'm back on Gran Turismo to make my Nations Cup debut. I'd seen this mode in GT Sport, and I have played GT Sport, but never took part in these Nation Cup or Manufacture Cup races. It's put me in the GT3 League because I'm a complete noob and I haven't taken part in the sport mode that much so far because between the 1.06 and 1.08 update I just couldn't play the game at all for pretty much a week. So you get a 7-minute qualifying session where you got to set your best lap followed by a 7-lap race, and in this I've seen other videos, people do these events and they sort of try and get some space, get some slipstream, set whatever lap they can, but because I'm not in a particularly great lobby, there's going to be a lot of mixed abilities in here, and that's including myself. While I think my best time in practices are like at 1:13. And the best times that are being set are 1:10, so it gives you a rough idea of where I stand. As you can see, I get in a complete mess here, but I do manage to get some space, try and set a lap, but get punted off there. So I just decide to pull over, let everyone past, and see if I can not worry about the slipstream at all. Just try and get a clean lap. That way I'm on my own, I don't have to worry about other cars. And I do manage to get that sort of thing going, as you can see. But as I said, a 1:14 leaves me about 5th on the grid. It's not the best lap, but hopefully I have a better race. Unfortunately, I don't have a better start. Try to be clever, but really you just want to have your finger on the brake, finger on the accelerator, or foot on the accelerator if you're using pedals, and just release on the lights instead of trying to be clever with the RPM. And as you see, I get caught up in what would be called the death group, the dreaded group in the middle of the race, where it's just a crazy mess. You can see we're going 3 wide here into the hairpin. I just decided just to brake, hug the inside for dear life, and hope I come out the other side alive. Looks like I managed to sort of stop the fall at about 10th place. So now I've got to work on trying to get myself at least back to where I was in 5th for this to be any sort of decent result. And then a little bit rude there, but it's that sort of race. Still got the car on the outside, who's got the slipstream, so I'm just going to let off the brake here, let everyone go in front, and hopefully they will mess themselves up in the exit, which is quite easy to do. But everyone comes out here quite clean. Let's see if I get a chance here now into this first corner. Just want to brake, hug the inside. Someone there trying to cut back in, but sorry, that's my line. So I'm just going to keep it forcefully and throw it up the inside here quite nicely. Get almost 2 positions. I'll try and go around the outside now, and I've managed to make that one step. It's quite a good move there. And now got the chase. The step field is starting to spread out a bit. I seem to have gotten myself out of the big group, and the German there decides that they've had enough. Decides to go on the scenic route. Now I've got a pretty sizable gap to the top 4. And I got a decent gap as well to the little group behind. So the aim here, my aim now, is just to set a nice quick lap. And that's exactly what I go and do. As we come across here, next lap, set the fastest lap of the race. Only at 1:13.6, but gotta take it in comparison to who I'm racing against. I'm not racing against the best people on this game, because I'm not even anywhere close to their ability. But in the context of the group I am good enough to race with, I managed to put in a solid lap, caught up to the back of the group, just been as smooth as I can, as fast as I can, no big skids, no messy brakes. Just gotta be patient, be consistent. Don't try and force anything when you, it's easy when you're chasing someone just to be a little bit later on the brake, a bit earlier, too early on the accelerator. Just focus on what you're doing and how you know how you like to race. You can see the first here, the person in third takes a trip off wide. That's one place, nice and easy. And again, now promoted into third, which seems to be the cursed position. That driver goes well wide, and I come up on the inside, nice speed. I just take the position nicely. I've got myself up into third, which is a great result for me. And here the positions pretty much stay now, right until the end of the race. Gaps don't really change much. I managed to stay within about a second and a half a second. Person in fourth stayed about that same distance from me. And I come home in a good solid third position with the fastest lap as well. It was safe to say I was buzzing after that, so I was quite happy to go again. This time I learned my mistake from qualifying, and I just dropped all the way to the back to try and get as much space as I can. Turns out I still came across people having problems on their laps, but I'm not in a huge gaggle of cars that I was, and this is my first flying lap and what ends up being my best lap. A little bit forceful there at the inside of that German, but it's should have been faster. Someone else goes wide here. I'm just gonna take my line, thankfully avoid them and avoid losing time with them. Brake a bit too early into this hairpin, but I still get the exit clean. Not as clean as I could be though. Do a better drive off there, as you can see with the car pulling off in front. And we're all using the same car, the Mazda Roadster. There's no tuning, there's no upgrades for it. It's just the basic car out of the showroom. As you come around the final corner, set a lap at 1:13.5, which is good enough at that point for second. By the time we get to the race, I'm starting in fourth. I wasn't able to improve on that time at all. I just caught up to the rest of the pack in qualifying and made a mess of it. This is how I should have started the first race, but that's what these races are for me. It's definitely a learning experience. I managed to get a much better start and hold my position into and out of the first corner. The Swiss driver there going a bit wide, giving me a shot at the inside. Get some replay shots here, get a nice idea of the gaggle of cars there. So I make a move up the inside of the Swiss driver. The German driver decides they're going to just make a move up the inside of me, going through wide briefly into that hairpin. See someone has had enough and decides to go for a spin. come down into the last real hairpin, the last real corner. And the four of us are still in a good route. Gets a bit better drive off the corner there, so tuck into the slipstream. I'm not going to make any sort of move up the inside here. It's only a really small brake, small dab of the brake, and then it's more about the drive out to this first corner. You see I've got a much better drive here, so I'm going to take a look at the inside, but pretty solid on the brakes. Gives me the space, so but the driver in second had a horrible first corner, and we're going to have a horrible hairpin as well. There's a bit of ghosting there as we drift out wide. He's lost 2 positions in the space of a corner. Now I'm lap into third, chasing down still with the German driver, who made that good move at the second hairpin. Have a look at the inside there. A little bit of ghosting, but we don't actually get close to making contact. But still, manages to hold me off. As we come down the back straight now, got some slipstream. Let's take a look, just in case. Just maybe drift a bit out wide. We come off this corner, I've got better drive again. I'm going to take another look at the inside here and make a much better move much later on the brakes. Drift out wide, cut back on the inside, a little bit of contact, a little bit more, trying to maybe force himself a bit more room, but I'm not going to give him any. Don't need to, he's got plenty on the inside, on the other side. I hug the inside then of this hairpin, and I finally made the move stick. A nice bit of racing there, a little bit of contact, but in these sort of cars at these sort of speeds it is to be expected. You just got to hold firm. As long as you're not trying to ram back, you won't encounter too many problems unless someone does pitch you, which is where they hit you on the back corner of the car, in which case you're just going to go for a nice spin. I've managed to get myself into second, put a little bit of a gap, and this is pretty much how the race is going to stabilise for myself for the rest of the race. As we begin the 4th lap, as you can see, first is about 5 seconds ahead, got about a 5-second gap to third, and I cross the line to finish a very solid second position, at least for me anyway. So that's my debut at the Nations Cup. I'll definitely be doing more because these were a load of fun. So just want to say diolch and thank you for watching.